ain't have no difficulty, but something occurred right here that I got to fix. So it's all good. We here. What's going on, YouTube? I got you. I got you. Give me a moment to get everything straight for you, but I got you. All right. Hopefully that's clear. Hopefully everybody is clear. They can see. I'm so excited about this conversation, and I hope you all will be very active in this conversation. It is one that is not like anyone that I've had before. Um, it is controversial, those I've had before and all the time. This one is spiritual, um, but it's also necessary. What's going on, Josh? I was thinking about you today. I'm glad you reached out. Thanks for being here, beloved. I appreciate you. Let your kids watch if they're available. Let your kids watch. And if you know any young males, black males that are available, invite them in here as well. This is one of those. Usually I have a discretion where I tell you don't have your children, don't have your kids around here. They don't need to be on this, but this is one of those that they probably need to hear. I will try to contain my F bombs out of respect for the young ears, even though I know they've heard it many a time. But they need to come on in here. So if you are able to share this video and invite others to watch it, please do so. Those of you who are coming in, I see you. Please let me know who you are so I can greet you accordingly. You know how we do around here. And if you have not already subscribed to my YouTube channel, please make sure you do that. It's Queen Goddess, the King Advocate. And Goddess is spelled God is. So please make sure you do that. Queen Goddess, the King Advocate on YouTube. We're going to get started in a minute. I just want to give you all time to get in here, get yourself acclimated. I will open the phone lines if you want to call in and share your thoughts, comments, questions, or concerns. Don't go away. If you can be with me, be with me. I'll have you out of here. I promise before the football game. Go. Come on. Okay. I promise. I'll deliberately put this time at 7 o'clock so y'all can watch the game at 8 or 8:15, whatever time it come on. We'll be out of here. Okay. Tonight's discussion, the topic is the image of God through the eyes of Black youth. This is serious, okay? But again, I need everybody in here. I need the youth in here. I need the adults, the parents in here. We have to have this conversation. Enough is enough already, okay? Shauna, what's going on, love, when I see you? So come on in, all right? Come on in, hit that share button, hit the like, comment, and subscribe and all that good stuff on YouTube. You all share. Come on in. Let's start this conversation. Let's start it right now. For those of you who are here, we're just going to go ahead in. So again, the topic is the image of God through the eyes of Black youth. And, you know, I always meditate first before I have these conversations, because I have to make sure that what I'm giving you is being given to me to give to you. I'm just the messenger, okay? But one of the things that you're gonna hear me repeat things a lot, and it's on purpose, with purpose, okay? So keep that in your mind. When I repeat it, it's on purpose, with purpose. So the reason we are here to have this discussion, again, is because it's necessary. Our children, and even us, as we were growing up, we were introduced to religion. We were introduced to God. We were introduced to certain practices and rituals, not having any cognitive understanding, no clue what's going on. This is just what mama doing. This is what grandmama doing. This is what we doing because that's what they doing, and we got to do what they do. Period. That's all we knew, was to keep doing it. And we've been doing it forever until we got to a point where we made a decision that we either we're going to continue or we're not. Hopefully, as we got older, we began to have a little bit more understanding, overstanding, and understanding as to what we were actually doing, and made a decision consciously to either continue or discontinue it based on your knowledge. Children. Let's talk about our children. Okay, those that are now coming up. They don't have the ability, and I'm talking about younger children, they do not have the ability to make decisions, logical decisions, or to accept things, ideas, concepts that are reasonable, rational, logical. They don't have the ability to do so. So they trust the adult. They trust the adult with the information. They trust the adult that we will give them the proper information that they need, that we will show them what to do, that we will protect them from all ills and harm. They're looking to us for that. What we have done to them, however, spiritually, is the complete opposite of what they've needed, what has been expected of us from them and the Most High. Okay, we have done the complete opposite of that. I'm going to go back, like I said, the rituals that they've learned as far as God is concerned, and what God looks like, and how to worship, and what to call God, and when and how to pray, whatever. That became embedded in them. No questions asked. This is all they know. No questions. They've continued it without any overstanding or understanding. I call this zombie worship, because they're not having to think, not having to process, just follow. There's no connection. They're just doing as they're told, or doing as they're shown and used to. Zombie worship. This practice, however, has an effect on how they see themselves. It has an effect on their self-image. To get into it, we have been taught and shown, and consistently taught and shown, that, thank you, that the that the image of God looks like a white man. The image of God is a white man. Every movie, every picture to be hung, every picture in the church, every picture in a book looks like a white male. This is what we have instilled in them, and what was instilled in us, that God looks like this. So with that in mind, let's do some biological, neurological little briefing, okay, on how this brain works. And we've had this conversation numerous times. I've repeated it numerous times over the past 6 years that I've been here, numerous times, okay? As far as how the brain works, we're not going to get into all the in-depth, details of it all. But the one thing you have to remember is, the more you repeat something, the more somebody hears or sees something, the more the brain will take that information in and process it as fact. The more something is repeated, the more the brain takes that information in and stores it as fact. Once it is stored as fact, the mind, that is the invisible part, the part that can think and do everything and feel and whatever, will take that information and cause one to feel some type of way about the information given. They will be connected to the information given. They will feel, they will be attached to the information given. Once they feel a certain way about the information given, they begin to act accordingly. They act according to how they feel about the information that was given. Okay, I'm going to repeat this again throughout this this show. I'm going to repeat it. The more you hear something, the more your brain takes it in as fact, it processes the information as fact. It will hold on to it, it will recall it, it will fight you if you try to say that it's something else. Okay, it will repeat it. You say it's diabolical conditioning, absolutely. Called programming, absolutely. Both of these things are correct. Okay, having said that, when you are dealing with melanated children, Black children, and you show them this image, they have this image in their conscious now because it's constantly being shown. When you show this Black child that, or you talk about, let's just start with the talk about. When you talk about God to this Black child and you speak highly of God and what God is able to do, and that God is forgiving and God is powerful and God is almighty, God is worthy to be praised. All of these things, when you do these things and you tell them that they must obey God, they must do as God has said, they must follow. You must not ask God questions. You must not question God. When you tell these things to a child, any child at this point, that is information that is stored. Okay. Now, when you take that information that is stored, they're gonna recall that this is what we're supposed to do with God. In regards to God, this is how we think, this is how we feel, this is how we move, this is what we're supposed to do. In regards to God, this is the fact, this is what we do. Okay. And then you take that information and then you present an image and say, now this is God. And that image looks like a white man. This Black child, this melanated child, is going to look at this image and connect it with the information given to him or her as God. What was told to me about God applies to this image. What was told to me about God applies to this image. So the image that was presented again was that of a white man. You're showing these Black children, these melanated children, that God, this almighty being, this being that is above all, all that is worthy to be praised, worshiped, honored, glorified, be loyal to, fight for, die for, that this God looks like this white male. I'm sure you understand at this point what I'm saying. You are telling these Black melanated children that God looks like a white male. So that brain has now processed God is a white man. God is a white man. So now every white man that this child or children see is going to equate with the image of God. I see this white man, he's God, which means I'm going to have to listen to him. I'm going to have to obey him. I'm going to have to follow him. No questions. I'm going to have to be loyal to him. I'm going to have to fight and die for him. I'm going to have to do this. I'm going to have to worship him because he is God, because this is the image that I was given along with the facts of what God is or what God looks like. This is the image that I have been given all my life, that God looks like this. So I have to follow him. So because I have to follow him and he is God and he is almighty, that puts me as a Black child, as a melanated child, beneath him. I am inferior to him because he is God. God looks like that. I don't look like that. Nobody I hang with looks like that. No man in my family looks like that. No woman in my family looks like that. These strangers that I don't know that keep throwing stones at me look like that. These strangers that I don't know that hate me look like that. These strangers that I don't know have accused me of doing something that I didn't do look like that. These strangers that I don't know that I read about in history that keep hanging people that look like me look like that. But that's God. I can't question God. I can't stand up to God. I can't defend myself against God. Who am I? I am inferior. Because we keep telling them that. We're showing them that. We're allowing them to believe that. We're allowing them to believe that. We are causing our Black melanated children to believe that the image of God looks like a white man and that you, Black melanated child, are inferior to this white man, God. And then you wonder why these children are acting the way that they do. You wonder why these children have such a low self-esteem. You wonder why these children have no aspirations to be anything other than what God will allow him or her to do or be. We have convinced our children that God is something and someone that they can't even relate to. We have convinced them that God is this man that doesn't look anything like himself and that don't have their interests, their best interests in mind, and will take them out at any time and will cause them harm at any time and will set them up at any time. But this is God, though. This is who we're telling them God is. This is who we're telling them they're supposed to follow and be loyal to and fight for and die for if necessary. This is what we're telling them. And I know people going to come in and out. They're going to get off of here. They're going to be mad. They're going to share. They're going to be cussing me out. You already know. I don't care. It is what it is. We are giving them rituals to practice that is maintaining the whole thought of inferiority. We're making our children believe that they are inferior. We are giving them a God/white man complex. We're doing that. We've done that. It was done to us, and now we're repeating the cycle. There was a time, I guess in the 80s, I think it was in the 80s, Jesse Jackson used to have this saying, I am somebody. I am somebody. And he used to tell the kids that. And most of the kids around him were Black children. They were melanated children. He would tell them, I am somebody, and have them repeat that. I am somebody. And somewhere between then and now, they're no longer saying, I am somebody. Now they're repeating and thinking and believing and acting according to, I ain't shit. I am inferior. This is what we're doing. We have caused the image of our Black children to be tainted by the tainted image of what God looks like. They cannot connect. They cannot relate to that. They cannot relate to something that don't look like them. So if they can't relate to something that don't look like them, that doesn't experience what they experience, how do you expect them to connect to or even want to have a relationship with God when God don't look like him? God don't sound like him or her. God ain't even looking out for him or her. God is setting him or her up for failure. How do you expect them to connect to God, to want to have a connection with, to want to have a relationship with God, when we're saying this is what he looked like, this is what she looked like? You got to do masculine and feminine. This is what God looked like, this white man. So you make sure you do what this white man tell you. Again, the brain has already processed and put together the information and the image. It has already put these things together. The information that they have been told, how they're supposed to worship, how they're supposed to be loyal, how they're supposed to be obedient, how they're just supposed to follow blindly, have faith in. On top of the image of the white man, the brain has already processed these things as fact. This is who they believe to be God, white men. They're being cheated. They're being cheated of their own identity. I've taken notes, so I'm gonna be going back and forth with my notes. But some of these things, I'm just gonna go off the top. You got to understand, there is a global white supremacist system. It's global. It's a global system, and it is designed and created to do everything to cause Black melanated people to believe that they are inferior in every way. And we'll start it with religion. Religion is the biggest, it's the largest, and the most powerful method used against melanated people to cause them to believe that they are inferior. Globally. And you can pick any religion you like because it all stems from the same one. So pick, it don't even matter. We have taught them, they have been conditioned to accept the religion that emphasizes the power, the dominance, and the direct relation to God as the Son of God being a white man. This is what the religion teaches: power, dominance, and a direct relation to God as the Son of God as a white man. So if this is true, as the brain has processed it, the brain has said this is facts. So if the child is listening to what the brain is saying, what the brain has computed as facts, and says, well, God is a white man and God's son is also a white man, where does that leave me as a Black child? Who am I as a Black child, a Black male, a Black female? If God is white and God's son is white, a white male, both of these things, white males, then who am I? How do I relate to God? How does God relate to me? How do I see myself? I can't see myself like that. I can't connect to Him. We don't have anything in common, nothing. They will fight to defend the honor, the name, the image of this white God, because that's all they know. But they will have no concern, no remorse whatsoever about fighting and or killing one that looks exactly like him, because he can't see the reflection of God in himself, let alone in that which he is fighting and or killing. What I'm saying to you is, if not no if, we must start to have these conversations with these kids, with these melanated men, young boys and girls, about what God looks like to them. We always tell them God is within us, God is in us. Then why are we teaching them to go look outside of ourselves or themselves to go find a white man and call him God? How does that work? Those things don't go together. You can't teach him God is within you and then go say, well, that's God right there. Well, how did this white man get inside of me? And I didn't see it. I didn't feel, how did that happen? The image of God is not the white man. Let's make that clear. That ain't it. Period. That's not it. And we got to stop telling our kids that's what it is. We got to stop showing them that's what it is. We got to stop allowing them to be live, that's what it is, and watching stuff on television that's representing the lie. You know, first of all, let me just go here. When you're talking about Jesus, Yahshua, for them to show this man as this lily white anything that close to the equator, let's just talk geographically, shall we? Anything that close to the equator will not, cannot maintain itself to be lily white. Period. Period. You cannot be that close to the equator and be lily white. I'm sorry. Let's just deal with some facts here, okay? Is this not happening? Anyway, let's just go back. The brain has been conditioned through these children to be live that the image of God looks like a white man. They don't see themselves in this. They don't see themselves in this white man, which means they don't see themselves in the image and likeness of God, which means they're not going to think about themselves as gods, demigods, little g's. They're not going to represent themselves that way. They're not going to feel that way. They're not going to be attached that way because they're looking at the image that they were told was what God was. They can't connect to that. They need to be able to see themselves and images of themselves and see God within themselves, period. They have to see themselves as the image and likeness of God. The more they see that, the more they hear that, the more they will process that as information, the more they will respond, they will behave accordingly. You all hear me say God and loved one and beloved, whatever, all the time. King, all the time. I know every Black man ain't a king per se. I know this. However, if he hears this enough, his brain will process that he is greater than where he is at the moment. It will process that. You are a king. You are a king, whether he is one or not. It will process that he is. So he will feel that he is. He will act and conduct himself accordingly. He will respect himself accordingly. He will show himself in the community in that way. He will show himself in his family in that way. He will walk in the manner of which he knows himself to be, how he feels about himself, how he recognizes himself, how he reflects upon himself, or how he sees his reflection is how he will carry himself. That's how he will conduct himself, and that's how he will treat other people that look like him or her. What are we doing to our kids? I want to say, if there are any watching, either if you're watching it now or if you watch it after the fact, Black man, young Black man, young Black woman, know for absolute certain that God looks just like you. Know for absolute certain that God looks just like you in masculine and feminine form. You were created in the image and likeness of God in masculine and feminine form, male and female. Do not continue to be convinced that God looks like something other than yourself. Do not allow people to continue to convince you that you have to look up and out to find God. God is within yourself. So every time you look in the mirror, every time you are by yourself, every time you hear something in your spirit, every time your gut feeling is going on, that ain't no white man. That's the God in you. You do not have to feel inferior to anybody. You are not inferior to anybody. The trick is to make you believe that you are so that you will know that they are inferior to you. It's a game. It's a trick. It's false information being given to you. 99.99% of the things that you have been taught, the opposite is the truth. Search for yourself. Get to know who you are for yourself. Find the God in you for yourself. Don't ask nobody where God is. Find God. Don't think you have to just go read about God. Find God. See what God looked like. Take the mask off and look at what God looks like. Overstand what God looks like. Understand what God looks like. As a parent of Black children, I apologize. I apologize if I ever made you believe that God was somewhere other than within yourself. If you are a parent of melanated children, Black children, you should apologize to your child or any child that you either made believe or did not show them otherwise what God looks like. You made them believe that God was a white man and you're supposed to do what the white man say. You're not supposed to question him. You're supposed to fear him. You're supposed to submit to him. You're supposed to be loyal to him and fight for him, lie for him, die for him. We're not doing that today. We're not doing that no more. We're not doing that. We're not doing it no more. We have done them a disservice. We cannot expect our children to carry themselves in any godly fashion when we're showing them that God don't look nothing like them. Who are they imitating? God don't look like you. And the God that you know about, that white man, that God that you know about, don't care nothing about you. He's shooting you out in the street. Come on. This is what we want our kids to be live. God will shoot you out in the street. God will put his knee in your neck till you pass away. God will shoot you in the back just cause and say he was scared. Huh? God will lock you up because you fit a description of something that you don't look nothing like. Does that make sense? Are we going to keep lying to our kids and have a different expectation of them? We're going to keep lying to them because we were lied to, and it's more convenient if they just accept it. We ain't got to explain nothing. We don't have to be held accountable. We don't have to be held responsible. Just let them figure it out. Throwing them straight to the wolves. We throwing them to the wolves. They're depending on us to tell them the truth. They've always depended on us to tell them the truth. But our traditions say, but lie to them. Continue to lie to them. And then eventually they'll become too old to know the truth or to even care about the truth because we have indoctrinated them for so long to believe the lie. They will accept the lie and rebuke the truth because they've heard the lie all their life. Is this what we're going to continue to do? If you don't go tell a young Black male or a young Black woman, I see the God in you, you are what God looks like, you better, we better. We have taught them to see God in everything and everybody except themselves. Why? Why are we doing that? Why have we done that to them? There is no benefit. We are teaching them to remain oppressed. We are teaching them to remain slave-minded. We are teaching them that they are indeed inferior. But then tell them you should stand up for yourself. Well, who they gonna stand up to? They can't stand up to God because God is the white man. They can't stand up to him. Who they gonna stand up to? Oh, another inferior being. We look at each other as inferior beings. We treat each other as inferior beings. We treat each other worse than animals. We treat each other worse than we treat animals, and we treat each other worse than animals treat each other. I've seen animals of opposite kinds show more love and concern and respect and protection for another than we do. Animals that ain't got no business intermingling, hugged up on each other, literally. What are we going to do? The image of God through the eyes of our Black youth is distorted. It's distorted. If that's what God looks like, I ain't got nothing coming. Ain't nothing I can do. God ain't listening to me. God ain't protecting me. God ain't doing nothing for me. That's when they get to believing that God doesn't exist. God is just a concept, just a made up concept. Brother, sister, you are not a made up concept. You are a created being. You are in the image and likeness of God. Go get your children and save them. Save your children, even if they're not biologically yours. Save your children. They should never look at a white man and believe they supposed to walk past him with his head down or with her head down. Like he or she's supposed to get out of the way because that's God walking. They should never feel that way. We should never teach them that. That is not who we are. Religion has taught us to be submissive to that being. Religion taught us that, to be submissive to white men. Religion taught us that. Before there was religion, we already knew who and what God was. We knew how to serve. We knew how to communicate. We knew what to do. We knew how to hear. We knew how and when to move. We could watch the stars and the moon and follow direction. We knew all of this. It was innate, natural in us. We didn't have to practice that. It was natural. We were taught to be unnatural. We were taught to serve a created being that we, mind you, created. Y'all ain't trying to hear me though. Pardon me. What we doing? That's the question. What we doing? Our kids see God, and adults. Let's do that. See the image of God as a white man. As long as that image is burnt in the minds of us and our kids, we will never and they will never have a connection with the Most High. Facebook, y'all acting up over here. I don't know if you can still hear me or not. I don't know. If y'all can, it went in and out. So if y'all missed something, I'm sorry. Just come back to it. If you all want to call, feel free to do so. I want to keep it down to like 2 minutes per call. If you all want to call, feel free to do so. 770-906-5271, 770-906-5271. I'm going to get you out of here no later than 8 o'clock for sure. The signal went out. Okay. Yeah, something happened. In the meantime, I'm going to go back and greet you all and read your comments. So, Faith, what's going on, love? When I see you, I appreciate you. And I'm drinking peach juice. It's pretty good, actually. What's up? Joe, what's going on, love? When I appreciate you for being here. Of course, G Walker, I appreciate you, love. When I'm come back and read your I'm about to say your book. I'm sorry. I'm gonna come back and read your comment in a minute. Let me see who else we got in here. Miss Carla, I saw you. Cleo, thank you, loved one. I appreciate you for being here and participating. Absolutely. Back me up if I'm wrong. You know, it's not teaching them who the troglodyte. Okay, right. See, see, we can't even go there, right? They ain't ready. Coco, what's going on, loved one? Cage, I see you, love. I appreciate you. Shauna, what's going on, love? I appreciate you. You also said the media, TV, advertising, movies, etc. All things reinforce white dominance and purity. Correct. Absolutely. Let me see. I speak. Amen. I know you see the God in me. Absolutely. Okay, G. So he says, if your cousins had a desire to have a God that they could see, being a European man, then they wouldn't be sitting around sucking up every word that their master says. Absolutely. To continue, say, unfortunately, even though it's in your cousin's nature, some people have a tendency to believe only what they can see. Indeed. By the way, Uncle Charlie said, "What time does the Willie Lynch train coming?" You silly. It's been here. Don't even go nowhere. That's the messed up part. What's up, Joe? You said half your screen is black. Is it black? I'm having there were some connection issues. I'm in a different room. So again, if you all want to call, do so. 770-906-5271. Phoenix, for being here. You said, yep, white Jesus, LOL. My friends think Jesus Christ is coming back. He said it's called programming. I'm going to tell you, well, I said it already. I ain't got to say it no more. But if I was JC, I wouldn't come back to this mess. I'm just saying from human mind. I wouldn't. For what? For what? But I'm gonna leave that alone. Anyway, again, for those of you who are just coming in or who will be coming in later, tonight's discussion is the image of God through the eyes of Black youth. And as I've stated, we have to um, allow them to see the God within themselves. They have to be able to see the reflection of themselves. If they can see God within themselves, they will reflect God. If they see God within themselves, they will reflect God. They will draw other gods onto themselves. They will recreate gods. They will reproduce gods. Gods will again walk amongst the earth. Come on, y'all. This is how this happens. Gods will again walk among the earth. We here. We just don't recognize who and what we are because we have been indoctrinated into believing that we're less. We have been indoctrinated, taught, programmed into believing that we are less than who and what we truly are. God does not look like a white man, period. God is a spirit being, spirit. But our children need to be able to connect and relate to it. They need to be able to see themselves as sons and daughters of God. They need to know that they belong to, that they are comforted by, that they are covered by, that they are in the family of. For some, that's all they got. They don't have, earthly parents or earthly people that will take care of them, guardians. They don't have that. All they have is their spiritual knowing, understanding, understanding, or be life. That's all they got. So if they be like, again, that God is a white man, then he don't have anything. He or she has nothing. They got nobody. They don't belong anywhere. Correct the wrongs, correct the errors, and don't be afraid of doing so. That's the part. Don't be afraid to correct it. Have these conversations with your kids, with anybody's melanated kid, okay? Have the conversations. If they ask you a question you don't know, look, youngin, I don't have the answer to that, but let's go find out. Or when I find out, I'll bring it to you. Don't dismiss them. Don't make up some crazy stuff just to shut them up. They've had that all their lives. They've been shut up all their lives. This is why they don't know nothing. They don't understand nothing. They don't understand nothing. Nothing. They're still being told how to think about themselves, how to see themselves by something they can't connect with. How you gonna tell me how I'm supposed to look at myself? You don't even look like me. You're not in me. You're not a part of me. Nothing. I'm supposed to connect with you? How? I can't see myself in you. And what I see you doing to people that look like me, I'm supposed to still call you God. I'm supposed to still honor you. I'm supposed to be loyal to you. I'm supposed to serve and worship and be obedient to you. This is what we're teaching them. If you have an image, that old school image, that white Jesus. If you have that image in your household, please get rid of it. Get rid of it. Don't color it in. Get rid of it. Get it out of there. That's it for me. I think I have said what needed to be said. We got to do something different, y'all. We do not have time to be playing. I told you all when I came back, when Melanated Monday came back, it was going to be different. That's what's up, G. I appreciate you, darling. Love you back. I know that's right, Muhammad. Never, never. I told you when I came back, I was coming back with a vengeance. And I meant that. I said, before I come on here and I say anything, I meditate, I pray, I ask, give me the guidance, give me the words, give me the topic, and then protect me in the midst of, because I already know when I say it, there's going to be an attack. I already know. But that's what happens when you tell the truth. We got to we have to get out of the mindset of fear of telling the truth or fear of walking in the truth because of retaliation. We're going to always be retaliated against. Always. But we cannot keep basically retaliating against our true selves. We can't keep fighting ourselves. That's all I got. I'm going to leave it at that. Y'all know what it is. I love you on purpose, with purpose, indeed. And until I see you again, peace.